this. You got your CNN and you got your Fox television, right? And some people are so one-sided, they'll never deviate from that one channel without at least taking a look at the opposite argument. Same goes for understanding what it is to be a vegetarian, or if you're going to take it to that level, be a vegan. Great. Why do they do it? Okay, I kind of get that. So now at least I can say, all right, I'm not going to be that, but at least I know what they're doing. And the same goes for rodeo. And you can imagine this, with some of my photography, I'll get people that chime in there, and I used to take it personally when they would say, animal cruelty, and I used to try to rebuttal and say, hey, look, screw you guys, you don't understand the sport. And I started changing my attitude on it because they don't understand our sport. But I've welcomed them to come anytime they want, to come hang out with us, and you'll see how well these animals are managed and maintained too. That's the thing. We've got to educate them. And it's that way on anything. You got to educate them about rodeo. Yeah. And they've started at a lot of rodeos, they'll have a group of people that I'll take back behind the scenes, and they'll show them stuff like that. Yeah. But they got to understand, bucking horses that you watch, the studs that they breed them from, they'll sell for $200,000. I mean, you're not going to take a $200,000 horse and mistreat it. It's going to live in the house, and you'll live out in the barn. Right. I mean, that's the way they treat them.
They're really viewed as athletes now in the sport, man. They always kind of have been, right?
They're absolutely athletes. And the bulls, Bob Tallman had a deal called Buckers Incorporated, and he was the first person to actually delve off into breeding bucking stock for that. And he would take a bucking bull.
So taking the best genetics from a badass bull.
Right. So because used to in the 70s and stuff like that, you go to a rodeo and a stock contractor would have 1, 2, maybe 3 really ranked bulls, or horses. Because you went to a sale barn and you took some guy that this horse and bull's been jumping fences, or they're hard to work, so you buy them, you try them, see if they buck, see if they would, and turned out they would. Now they breed them specifically for what they're made for. I mean, and they've got workout programs.
They got workout programs for animals? Goodness, I know they have diet, and all kinds of crazy
Gilbert
stuff.
Carrillo and his brother, which they rode in the PBRs down in Texas, they've got a place that if you've got bucking bulls, you can take it to them, and what they do is they work them in the back pens every day. They go in there and they just move them around.
It's almost like a training
Move them
session,
around. They run them up in the bucking chutes, and they get them to set there. They flank them. They get somebody down on them and waller around on them and everything. Then they'll put a dummy on them, and they'll turn them out, and they'll buck them. Then they'll turn them around after they buck, and they'll run them back through the out. They physically run them through a practice to get them. It's just like a football play, just to get them to be the athlete that they are.
Now, with the organization, I mean, I'm sure you have rules and regulations as an announcer. You do as a photographer. I'm sure that there's some rules and regulations on animal.
There's so many rules,
care and
animal rights and stuff like that that we go by. I mean, they've got judges that go through the herd every day, and they look at everything. And those judges, tie-down roping was one of the biggest things that people, ooh and ah over.
Like the calf roping?
Right.
Yeah.
Calf rope.
Okay.
So they rope a calf, it hits the ground. If it comes, when he ropes and drops the slack, and that calf comes straight over at 12 o'clock, you're done. No time.
Oh, okay.
You're out of it because you can't jerk a calf over 12 o'clock. He has to come over at like 10 o'clock. There's a certain way he has to come over. Okay, if that calf hits the ground, you go down there and tie him, and you get up, and that horse backs up about 4 steps, and I don't know what the length is, but that judge is watching. If he backs him up more than that, you're out. They not want any more stress to be given to that calf. That calf is the very first concern of anything. That calf roper can jump off, break his hip, throw his knee out, do whatever. That's fine, as long as that calf's okay. It's true. They care more, but it's true, and they should.
That's how it should be. Yeah,
they should.
So for the people to think that we just abuse them, that's completely wrong.
Yeah, I've never met an animal that I didn't like, but I've met a lot of people I don't like.
And this always comes up. So right now on a podcast, I've never been on a podcast before.
This is your first one?
I've never even
great.
been in
You
a
didn't
room.
know we were getting into politics.
Yeah. The politic deal come up.
Well, guess what? We don't edit anything either, so it's start to stop.
Yeah.
But if you want me to take anything out, I will.
we're good.
Cutting out that beef thing, though.
Okay. But just dub over Beyond.
Yeah. But so just to put to bed the myth, everybody thinks that in the bull riding, they take that flank strap and they wrap his scrotum and nuts in that flank strap to make him buck. That's the farthest thing from. Let me ask you a question.
You have to know animal anatomy, right? Like a little
if
bit,
somebody
right?
wrapped a flank strap and tied it around your nut, are you going to want to move at all?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You're going to stay right there.
Yeah.
Like, please get up.
I'm going to pray to whatever God is available, man. Like
the whole concept of it is, it's kind of like if you got something on the end of your finger and you're trying to get it off. That's the whole concept of it.
Yeah.
That flank, they feel that and they're trying to kick it off. And that's a lot of it. But the other part of it, like we were talking about, they breed them to buck.
Right.
You know, they are bred now as a rodeo athlete. That's what they're bred to do. So they're going to do that, but that flank strap makes them do it consistently through 8 seconds.
I mean, some of those PBR bowls and stuff, or even the ones that are in the national finals, because they go back and forth, right? Like, Maddie, see if you can pull up some highlights, man. I was watching some stuff like it just happened to come up on your feed or my feed or something. They are unbelievable, man. Like jumping as high, they're like cats.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like
the
cats.
PBR is, they really took, see, when Bob had that Buckers Incorporated, I used to do all of his events, and they'd buck them under dummies when they were, 2-year-olds or whatever. And then he sold the Buckers Incorporated to the PBR, and they made it the ABBI. And when the ABBI got it, they took breeding of buck and stock so far, it's unreal. And they're starting to get these. And I would hate to think that I had to ride a bull. It'd be like sitting on this wall. And I mean, then they jump up and they
How
go
much
sideways.
has the sport evolved? Was one of my questions for you, because you've watched it firsthand, front row, for 30 plus years.